style of build. I think it's extremely powerful. If you can get into that backline, you can threaten that insta-kill. You know, if you go really heavy CDR and you go Cosmic and CDR boots, you get more rotations of your spells, but often it's more difficult to actually stay in range of the carries for that long. So it is a bit of a trade-off, right? If you have a long extended fight, I think this is more powerful. If it's the 100-0 instant fight, the other build is just way better.
Sure. And so I want to see if he's going for the one-shots, right? If they would have happened, you know, and do the mental math, and like, with 10% more damage of killed, ooh, it would have. Yeah, unlucky there. So keep that in mind. Gold lead remains about 2.5 thousand, but the Dragons are stacking up. We're on pace for a sub-30-minute Dragon Soul. It is going to be Infernal, by the way. My knowledge, based on solo queue stats, it is the least winningest Dragon Soul, though not by much, but just food for thought. Pro play, of course, can be different, but just some thoughts out there. And now bot lane being pushed in towards the tower. Going top, of course, can always immune stuns, but doesn't easily immune that one. Plays around the gold guard, doesn't do anything, just doesn't hit buttons. Stunned forever. Tony top, you gotta use your fingers, bud. Gets dropped down. Jojo Plun claims the kill.
Yeah, I did not show the respect to that. You gotta pull the gold card, and when he doesn't, he is gonna go down. If he pulled that, it would have been, at the very least, way harder for them to kill you. And unfortunately fails the execution on that one. It always feels so bad when you miss your pull on Vladimir. It's really, really painful. It's similar to Sivir and missing Spell Shield and those types of things. It's completely game-changing because you give over the easy kill, you give up another tower. That's more map control over on the side of EG, and we'll see if Tony can get anything done here later on.
Well, charges up Q3, not going to have a target to go for, though. I guess Blast plans forward, but I don't think he's nearly fast enough if he needs to. Okay, I mean, if you committed Flash and he wasn't respectful, it could have worked, but yeah, it's fine. Sweep the brush, take the recall, no problems here. Golden Guardians finally did take the top lane outer turret. I assume someone got local gold on it, but still just trying to keep up in the game. However, it's now 4,000 gold, the difference, as bot lane outer died. The kill, of course, valuable as well, and yeah, EG just really turning the screws.
Yep, and Inspired looking like he's going Spirit Visage second. I do think it's really effective on the Olaf, and honestly, when you're playing against these double AP styles, like, if you go Spirit Visage, basically all you have to do is, in the fights, you run at the Jinx so the Jinx is not dealing optimal damage, and you're saying, all right, the Spirit Visage, the resistance I'm building up with this MR is going to deal with the rest, and I'm going to pressure the Jinx. We're going to dive on the Jinx with Kennen, with TF, with Olaf, and really limit Stixxay's damage through our play and not through our itemization. And I think that playstyle is really legit and can work quite well.
Now we look at the rest of the waves pushing in. Mid still under fire. Danny keeping the clip, doing quite well. 193 CS now, has managed to eclipse his jungler and his mid laner.
And he does have 34 souls, so at least that's the first range upgrade. It is pretty slow, you know, generally, as you're saying, when you're going this marksman style, and especially if people aren't going to be willing to trade with you a lot, which most people are not. But closing in at least on that second ranged upgrade, did go Wit's End here, again, a nod towards all the AP damage that is likely going to be what's hitting him. You know, they're going to be diving in towards trying to take out the marksman on opposing teams.
And it does change the calculus somewhat in terms of going for a flat pen build for Vladimir, for example, because, yeah, if you've got a Wit's End and Merc Treads everywhere and a Spirit Visage, flat pen's, you know, comparatively worse stat. Look at the play now towards Chime. Slowed once. The stun's going to come down. Olaf ults it. And they got Digipun here now as well. Bunch of CC comes across and just a deletion. Down goes Leona. 1-0 EG.
Yeah, Ryoma shows up, but too little too late here. Does expend the teleport. I don't think EG is going to be so bold to just start the Baron in their face or anything crazy like that. But they do get the pick. Feeling good about it. Now GG trying to push in, trying to get something back. They do force the flash off of Danny, but now it's EG's time to really threaten.
Flash ult available. Not going to go into the tower. Not sure if he's a stopwatch or not. That could have maybe changed the calculus. The TP's in for not a whole lot, but they can keep map control for now. Dragon's up in a minute. That would be soul point.
And he does have a stopwatch available, but still would be pretty far ahead of the team if he went for it. And Inspired not having his ult, I think, really kind of limits your confidence to go for that sort of a crazy play, but it ends up being the trade of TPs. Golden Guardians getting something back on the back end is going to feel good. You know, taking the flash off of Danny for this next dragon fight means he's more vulnerable to someone like this Vladimir, and that can be pretty impactful.
There we go. Smite gets to take a camp. Iconic! Got to counter jungle Inspired. Congratulations. 4 CS in the enemy jungle. And eventually you will be the better champion. But again, if the gold lead remains as it is, it's not like Inspired is suddenly, you know, lower level, fewer items, less stats than the Xin Zhao. So for now, it's still a rough road. 5K. The gold lead grows and grows and grows. Decent damage towards Chime. And the Dragons have been 8 seconds. Is this the time that Golden Guardians fight? No one's playing for the top wave. No one's playing the cross map, which means instead of gaining farm, they're going to fight for the Dragon. But the problem is they're fighting for Dragon on a 5,000 gold deficit and an instant death onto Iconic. You got to believe someone hits him. Flash to safety. He's actually going to live unless we get the Senna ulti. No, Iconic! He just, if he ran in the same direction, he would have gotten out, but the mind games worked out. Danny claims the kill. Golden Guardians set up for the Dragon, lose it, and are still dropping farm in top lane.
Just didn't have any vision in that river, and they tried to face check through here. Gotta do it a little bit more methodically, you have to feel like. Maybe check some of those brushes with the Victor lasers, do it a little bit more slowly, ward over the wall. Tony now getting caught here.
Again, the stuns just keep layering in. He never cast the pool. This time around, though, it was Kennen getting a pretty instant stun. Not a lot of time to react to it, but it's Dragon 3. It's 2 more kills claimed. And finally, Victor claims 8 CS in the top lane.
Objective bounties are going to be spawning here for Golden Guardian, so that's kind of your hope now. But at this point, it is getting so out of control. You're at soul point here pretty early. You're more than 6,000 gold ahead. Inspired is going to have even more gold in his pockets, and it's getting very, very grim for Golden Guardians.
Decent damage, and Vulcan able to jump to the wall. Good spacing on the body slam. And we're getting farther and farther away. 6,500. The numbers keep growing here as Evil Geniuses are going to get the side lane push as well. Bot lane tier 2 is killed. Grows it to 7,000 now as a nice blast plant might mean more. Is there a play? Unwilling to chase it, of course. Chime without a Hex Flash available at the time. Obviously, his real flash is down. Nothing to do for the chase. And sadly, Golden Guardians haven't gotten a kill in forever.
Yeah, just not able to really find anything. They will take the scuttle around Baron, so give themselves a little bit of safety there. But we saw Kennen push down bot, takes the tier 2. He can now reset, move out on the map, and EG can reset, get their wards, move out, try to clear out all this vision that has been established, in this area by Golden Guardians, and look to start to threaten attempts on that Baron. Look to try to find picks as Golden Guardians try to establish vision, because really any even number fight is going to look really, really good for EG now. So they just need to try to draw Golden Guardians into that area and really start to flex that muscle.
All right, let's see what's up next for us. Mid-wave clear, going reasonably well. Danny just going to keep clearing waves. Has gone Hurricane, very much an on-hit build here on the Senna. Some positive synergy with the Hurricane. We'll talk about it in a minute, though, as Inspired is chasing down on a Chime. Stun's not going to do anything. Ease 4 doesn't matter. Everfrosted and dead. Inspired finds his next kill. And now Tony Top finally gets his way to pool underneath the gold card. Ulti came in and did about nothing in that fight, but healing back to about 70%. And it's once again Golden Guardians forced to seed their side of the map and just let Evil Genius's gold lead bloom.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Chime is trying to push in there to get some vision for Tony so he can maybe get something happening in the side lane. You know, a solo kill in the side lane is one of those things that can buy you a little bit of time, buy you a little bit of hope in this game, but they are just getting punished again and again.
They find a slow, a good Zonia's, and the cross map comes in from Senna. 1 kill picked up, but a time for Iconic, but cannot get back onto his target. Gonna try as hard as the body slam builds some space, and down he goes yet again. A 2 for nothing over and over and over again. EG's kills come in 2s.
It's a stomp. EG running away with it. Inspired, JoJo back to that bottom lane. As soon as someone's pushing out, they're just getting punished time and time again. And now, invading on this top side, at the very least, they'll pick up a couple souls here. And now that tier 2 mid could be under fire.
Let's look at the reset right now, though. TF, Olaf, both back into the base. Mid lane cleared and walking away. So they're going to take their time here and make sure the wards stay up on Baron. And then, you know, honestly, yeah, Dragon Soul's in 2 minutes. You can play that one pretty reliably. And that's probably going to be a closeout.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the vision that's in this area. There's no wards from Golden Guardians on this whole side of the map. They have 1 side lane ward, or I guess 2 right here. But that's all they have going for themselves right now. And it is just so hard to face check into this, where Kennen could be in a brush, Gragas could be in a brush, Inspired is waiting there, and clearly has the damage just knock down whoever face checks him. And Impact is now on a second item, and he hasn't had to use his stopwatch in 27 minutes, so he still has that. And it's just one of those things that's tough when you're so far behind. You can't force out these resources. You can't tax these resources. So Kennen's going to have effectively his Zonias for 1 fight while still going a higher damage build.
It's smart. Love to see it. Impact's been under very little threat, and it's been a good look as we keep clearing the waves out. Vulcan gets to look at some of the farm. Says, "Will I have a cannon?" No. Okay. Souls keep stacking up. About 40, 55, yeah. So 2 range upgrades. Not at the 60 just yet. Just items in inventory is going towards Rage Blade. And now, Tony Top does not expect to be flashed after the body slam, just walks through with Rocket Belt. But more camps get stolen as Inspired is in there. So a quick look at the on-hit Senna build. She does have very, very poor attack speed scaling. Her base attack speed ratio is incredibly, incredibly low, which in some cases makes attack speed items quite poor. That said, she basically does bonus on-hit damage. She does, I think, 10% of her total AD as just free on-hit damage up front. That's going to synergize with Hurricane. Of course, she bought it with Zen. That synergizes with Hurricane. So you have a little bit that kind of pushes back the other way, where you get some extra free on-hit damage that someone like Tristana doesn't get, for example.
Yep, absolutely. I'm gonna be feeling pretty good about that. And obviously, the Soul proc, really, really nice. Can start to really poke through that damage. Vulcan, getting a little bit aggressive, but playing near the wall, so he's just gonna be able to retreat back. And now, have they overstayed? A great ult in. Yeah,
pretty good. Ulti gives him some time, has to flash away from Inspired, so Impact on the flank. There's the flash ulti, kill on the 1, kill on 2, you have to believe. Getting low though, and actually burned down. Victor claims the kill, but it's a 4v3 with a gold lead. Chasing down to Ryoma, gets a shield, not gonna matter. 3 kills picked up. Flash red card, you have to believe it. And it means Stixxay is able to keep walking away to live. Had cleanse regardless, so it wasn't gonna matter. And now Inspired finds another Q. Wasn't gonna kill, but Stixxay flashed it anyway. 4v2 on the map. Health bar's low. Leona goes in. Stopwatch for a second to buy some time, and now Chime out of the turret. Is it going to be enough though? The Rockets come out. Stixxay is trying to get the kills. Inspired is low. Is it going to be enough? He sidesteps another axe. If Chime can get in, that could have been a couple of kills. Not quite the damage. If Stixxay had maybe 1,000 more gold, that turns around for a bit. But sadly, EG too far ahead.
Yeah, just the slimmest margins there. Just didn't quite have the damage. If he could have got the kill there, get the reset, get a triple, maybe there's some sort of hope. But instead, they all get out. Danny's gonna claim Soul here on the other side of the map as well. Really, really rough. And yeah, the flash red card there, but the slow is applied. He had to cleanse it anyway. And here's the initial play once more, trying to punish Vulcan, but he's playing it close. And as you walk forward, you're just walking straight into the arms of this Cask. Gold card into Cask, knocking him straight in. Impact in the backline, threatening. Yes, he can't get to Stixxay, who's playing it in his start location, but he gets straight in onto those 2 members. Wants to hold on to the stopwatch, gets it a bit greedy there, so does end up going down, but Inspired is just rampaging through this team. Ryoma falls. There is that flash red card that has to be cleansed on the slow, or he's just gonna go down, and now EG back to live, clearing out vision around this area. That is gonna be the game plan, really, from now until forever. Just clear wards out of this section of the map over and over and over. Force Golden Guardians to come into this area and fight you around it.
Ooh, good knockback and a TF at the top. Yeah, nowhere to go. Goodbye to Ryoma. Maybe a retrade, though. Yes, they get the TF, so a 1-for-1, but the other side looks bad. Vladimir and Sinjao buying a bit of time. However, EG is too tanky. Inspired on the front lines, does not care about this damage. Blast plant not going to happen in time, and it's just going to be a complete shutdown there. So another kill on the board, +1 yet again for EG.
He's just so aggressive at defending this vision. As soon as they see Ryoma, he's trying to clear out some of these brushes with lasers, trying to utilize him and Chime to get some eyes in the area. But he shows up, they know his flash is down from the previous fight. Instant ulti out there from JoJo. They get that kill, they get the Baron. It's gonna be a good 12,000 plus gold lead now. So much of an advantage here for EG. Another range upgrade has come through as well for Danny. He's past 60. So the sieging becomes very, very simple for EG as well.
Well, we'll see where they send themselves. At the very least, the Golden Guardians have survived longer than the average LCS team here against Evil Geniuses. That doesn't reflect in the scoreboard at the end, though. It's still going to be a 0-1 start, barring some kind of major miracle. 98-2 at this point, something like that. This is very, very EG favored, and that, outscaling, they're going to kick in when you keep your gold lead above 10,000. Look at the play. They find a slow on a JoJo Pyun. Still the first stun comes across. Chomper's coming down, not quite for the first root, but he's at 1 hit. Is there going to be more going on? Not just yet. Rocket not going to find its target. Looks like it's a sidestep there for JoJo Pyun. So no kills, and now Tony top too far up in the river, just shut down, and it's time to run away. Sure, TF might be gone, but can you win this one? Decent damage out of Victor. Chime still trying to frontline. Right now, Stixxay trying to lifesteal back up, but the rest of his team is already dead. Danny has shown up the team fight. Quadra kill! Penta kill! Danny shows up to clean it at the end.
Danny going off. Another competitive pentakill for this guy. What a player. EG looking strong here in game number 1 against Golden Guardians, and what a way to finish it. Vulcan, instant body slam on that E-flash from Tony top. Danny goes off, cleans him up, and EG are looking good.
Well done. 32-30. Nexus falls. Evil Geniuses had a level 1 winning top lane, used it to completely destroy Iconic's jungle path and kept it behind the entire game. We had a couple of decent looks from Golden Guardians, a kill in the bot lane, a couple of plays, but though they had ideas, EG executed theirs far better. The brains were larger, and they lived evil. Golden Guardians died evil.
Yeah, I gotta say, Tony Top not having the best game here. Really, I don't think got much out of the Vladimir.
Yeah.
Felt like he kind of failed the interactions when he needed to really hit it. Had a few opportunities to maybe get something done, but kept just dying, getting CC chain down. And if you're a split second late on that initial pool, you never get to move because the subsequent CCs just come in and continue to come, and he just ends up going down. And I've got to say, Faker only has one competitive pentakill. Danny tied with Faker now at the very least. I don't know if he actually got one last year because he had that delayed penta. That's a famous play, but I don't think that was it. So there you go.
That's true. I mean, honestly,
tied on the scoreboard.
Better
just as good as Faker.
Better players are in the LCS, honestly. I mean, shout out to pretty much everyone on that roster. I mean, Impact, I think, just kind of sat there on side lane and was like, he was part of level 1 invade, but like kind of chilled the whole time. But the crossouts were really good, right? I like the Golden Guardians idea of, okay, we're going to bring bot lane up, play for Herald, and then stay there and go for turret. Like, I thought it was a cool play. It was a smart play. It was going to give a lot of gold and a Jinx and accelerate the game. Problem is, they weren't really tracking TF, and they weren't tracking that, like, well, Blast Plant over, Senna ult, TF ult, it's a 4.5v3. And I'm sorry, like, Victor can't join in time. You already sent Tony Top down a bottom lane. It's not even in his name, but they did it. And oops, we went for a planned play, but there was actually a counter on the map already. And then EG's like, well, the game has been over from now on. And they just took control the entire time.
I mean, Inspired was just so far ahead from that point. Really good game from him. But EG do take a decisive win to claim the lead in this series. And we're going to break it all down at the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Azale.
Whoa!
For giving us a chance to talk on this matchup. We're going to start by reliving that pentakill moment from Danny because it ended up concluding the game. Feels like we didn't really give it its due on air. This was sick.
I mean, he deserves it, too. So long, he was just side laning versus the enemy top lane. He was kind of left on an island while the team was making plays without him. So nice for Danny to get involved and finally pick up, I believe, his first pentakill ever.
And for him to get to this point, I think the big thing, as Mark already pointed out, is that he was side laning. He was playing that really safely, too. Like, there was not a time where he really got caught out in these matchups. And then, we've talked about Danny's, like, team fight positioning before and how strong it is. He is insane in team fights.
Yeah, really well-timed flash on that one. Just the thing about Danny, you already know, he's confident he can take the fight, he'll take it. Right, last one, it was an unofficial one. This one is an official pentakill. So got to put it on the board. So well done to him. The draft looks sick, too.
Draft looks really good. I was very intrigued, though, as well by what Golden Guardians brought to the table. Yeah, Vladimir, sure, a little bit of a new look here in the LCS, but overall, the rest of those champions ticking a lot of the boxes that you would want in the meta right now.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Olaf yet in the LCS. I could be wrong, but it's been played overseas a fair amount as kind of one of the backup options once some of the main junglers get taken off, and it works well given the fact that they also got 3 pushing lanes. They are going to push forward the entire game and allow the TF to run over, and that was the game plan that they had.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see more Olaf, especially, like, there are great comps around it. Like, you can go Karma Olaf. This one had the Twisted Fate Olaf, and it's a great matchup into Xin Zhao. I mean, Xin Zhao, as much of a blind pick as it is, has been, essentially globally getting trounced by the likes of Trundle and Olaf. So, like, for me, looking at this, I like the draft, and they also just had consistent pushing lanes on every lane there for a good bit. I mean, bot lane is a bit of a ping-pong one with Jinx and Leona, but especially for mid and top, it was looking great for Olaf to do what he wanted to do.
You mentioned the Olaf versus Xin Zhao matchup, and that's where you got to go next. Inspired, as we've already talked about at the top of the day, up there, maybe top 2 best player in the LCS right now, and then he just runs over this game from the beginning.
So they do this late invade onto the red, and Iconic, after this, his early path, he's basically effectively not allowed to play the game. So he's going to go red, he's going to go birds, and then he's going to cross over to his side, do his own birds. He basically secures this entire half of the map and additionally gets his own red. Iconic was significantly far behind him for most of the mid to early game, and it made such a massive difference you see the CS and the XP.
Oy.
And like, this is the kind of style that we saw a lot more of from Inspired, I think, in LEC and kind of what we were expecting. And it was great to just see him have a game for himself where he completely takes over everything this early.
And when something like this, a late invade happens like this, and it pushes you off your camp, you really don't have an alternative because of how the matchups are working. You have to make a decision, like you just have to take the game from that point on, right? All the conversations you had going into this with the specific draft, oh, you're playing towards the Leona Jinx, out the window, and so you have to make the best of it. So I think Iconic did what he could. Unfortunate situation this game. This is a great play that Evil Genius has had topside.
Well, and we talked about how EG set up these TF plays previously in other games, and this is another method of that, right? Like where you saw the TF push up. Golden Guardians needs to know if they're that far pushed up. TF has already pushed the wave. He fainted to top. They should have seen that, and it was set up beautifully by EG.
I think you can see problems with Golden Guardians' communication throughout the entire game. We talked about that moment, and then also there was times where Jinx and Victor were both sitting mid lane because they were kind of scared to work up and find jungle vision, and as a result, you just have your two carries farming the same lane for extended periods of time. And then whenever they did go to those side lanes, they got absolutely picked apart by EG.
Yeah, and in this specific play, a minute before this even starts, was just a great example of that vision that Evil Geniuses were actually accruing. So they placed a great ward in the red side jungle. The moment Golden Guardians push forward, instantly teleport comes through, flank them, TP ports right behind Golden Guardians too. So like they're doing a great job communicating and just being aware of when the fights are there, when they have the flank ready.
That's a chef kiss gold graph right there.
Yeah.
If you're a coach, you're like, take a screenshot and frame it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do I see one little blip of red though?
No.
At 5 minutes.
Yes,
5
you're
minutes.
right.
No,
See
that was the first blood. That was
see
first
one
blood.
little blip. Yeah.
Hey, and you know what?
Disaster.
You know what Golden Guardians winning right now? You know how they were tied in first blood percentage coming into
Oh,
this?
you know what?
They took over EG.
You're
the
right.
real winner.
Boom. Hey, top in the stats column of at least one stat box. That said, EG looks good. A lot of this is playing to what we expected. Golden Guardians has side selection here in game number 2. They're gonna hop over to blue side. We talk a lot about Victor, Corki. Corki gets banned. TF is getting played. TF looks damn good in the hands of EG and JoJo specifically. I know the meta doesn't necessarily speak to revolving around the mid lane matchup right now, but when the TF is in their hands, it almost feels like it does begin to. So what's the answer?
I'd say it does revolve around the mid lane
Love
matchup,
it.
but like I did like some things Golden Guardians did. I liked the Vladimir pick into the Kennen and also against the TF, which they brought up on cast, and we actually saw Flandra play over in LPL. But yeah, like get themselves on comfort picks. I know I've been calling for this the entire time, but you know what? Like
Bard.
individual performances
Bard.
matter. I want to see Chime on Bard.
Yes!
I do.
There it
I
is.
want to see it.
There
I'm
it
with
is.
you. I'm with you. Thoughts?
Sure. Why not?
Hey, he's won me games with Bard, so but yes, I think comfort goes a long way. And have a pushing lane in the top lane, empower your top laner, Tony Top.
Tony Top.
Just in
That's where
case
he
you
belongs.
forgot where he
Up
was.
there in the top lane.
Tony Top.
Yeah, read the name. There it is, up in the top lane. We'll see if Golden Guardians can get it done or if Evil Geniuses can remain undefeated and close out our series in game number 2. We'll be back right after this.
Oh no! That was not even fair.
What if respawning was refreshing? Here's to the round between rounds.
This game is rigged. This game is out to get me.
Initializing legendary moments.
Take a look while you can, because if you blink, you'll miss it.
I'm sure you've heard the news.
Gold, gold, and more gold. Here comes the big play. Oh, that's perfect timing. You can see this one coming. They get what they need. They got the mid. They got the support. They got the top.
Are they gonna give you some fun League of Legends? Yes, sir.
Welcome to the LCS.
FTX, official cryptocurrency exchange partner of the LCS.
Sequence complete.
Welcome back to the 10th year of the LCS and the second lock-in tournament. We've got the quarterfinals. Match number 3 underway. Evil Geniuses have been absolutely destroying Golden Guardians. It was an okay start. Golden Guardians got first blood. They had some nice plays, but from about 9 minutes onwards, EG took control of the game and absolutely never let up. The gold graph went up and to the right the whole time, and the Nexus fell.
And I just really liked how proactive they were with the ultimates. Pretty much every time TF Ultimate was available, boom, you're looking for a play. Inspired was constantly taking away buffs. Not only did they force out the Flash level 1 and steal the red buff, then he took the next red buff. Then he took the next spawn of the blue. And he's just constantly in the face of his opponents and got so far up in gold that, yes, this champion doesn't scale incredibly well. You're playing against Victor and Jinx and Vlad. But who cares? Because you're a full item ahead at all times. He was out farming marksman for a lot of the game as a jungler, which is just not something you see every day.
Yeah, not at 50 minutes when it's like, oh, I have 170 CS at 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see 8.5 CS a minute on a jungler very often. Like, that is a really, really, really high mark. I mean, it's more than I think your jungler can even support. In the first place, you have to be poaching camps or lanes or both or whatever. But now we are on the Rift for Game 2, and Golden Guardians gets to reset and try again. Once again, their early game was fine. Iconic got set behind, and yet they still found pressure, and they found a kill, but it was the mid game that fell apart, and the scaling went from there. So will it be a different look? Less towards the hard scaling. We'll see what it comes into. Olaf going to be on the ban list. Renekton's still gone.
Also curious if TF is going to be left up again here. This is something that gets banned a lot. Obviously, Jojopian had a great game on it, so that can be pretty threatening.
Yep. To talk about priority champions, Renekton, Diana, Corki were the Golden Guardians bans. They've already dropped 1 to put the Olaf on the docket. On the other side, Karma, Thresh, Caitlyn were what EG feared. And as the Corki and the Caitlyn come through, some of that still pulled through. But yes, GG gonna drop 2 of their bans. The Corki got picked up by the EG side, but this Diana still left up that they consider valuable.
I mean, Inspired and Jojopian were kind of the core of that composition. That was kind of what it was built around, moving around the map, taking away jungle camps. They ban out both those champions that caused them a lot of problems. But does mean LeBlanc is available as a big priority pick. Obviously, things like the Xin is up. We have Jinx available, so there's a lot of options here.
Diana and Karma, the 2 unbanned champions from the banned, now unbanned champions from the previous draft, meaning, we see the Diana first pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Karma grabbed here, as that was one the EG feared. It was their first banned blue side, and they're given the option to grab it here and take it away. Maybe we see something like a, Jinx Karma if that is the look. Obviously, Aphelios has been highly prized here as well. We'll see what the draft actually looks like, but we know it's one that they are concerned about.
Yep, and Diana has a very high win rate in competitive. I checked in on that the other day, and it was up well above 60%, so doing really well. One of the common pairings we actually saw, FlyQuest try to do this was with the Yasuo. That game really did not work out, but that is something that you're going to have to look out for, and we'll see if EG do actually respect Ryoma's Yasuo, if they're going to try to ban it away, or if it's going to be early picked. Because that is something that most teams really want to watch out for. It's kind of the new age of the Gragas Yasuo comp that we used to see for so many years.
Yeah, it allows you to play around the Diana a lot more. Like, she actually holds up as time goes on compared to other junglers, so actually has some pretty solid late game. And yeah, as a damage threat, right? You can kind of play for her. You can, it means you probably play weak side, top side or something. Like, someone's got to sacrifice to get her, continued farm as time goes on. But of course, a worthy play. Iconic is a very farm heavy jungler. He really is about the individual leads. So, definitely a champion that can suit him quite well. But now we got to see the rest of the draft. Golden Guardians got to lock in picks 2 and 3 here. Karma, again, still maybe the most highly prized support in, I think, North America and Korea combined. Ezreal locked in, and now
it pairs super well with Ezreal. That is one of the lanes where, this turns Ezreal from the my support's going to roam, and I'm going to sit back and farm with Qs, to we're actually going to push you in, we're going to poke you out, we're going to try to dominate lane. You can go aggressive with Comet on the Karma and really try to punish a lot of these scaling marksmen.
Yeah, and one of the big things about skill shot supports, like a Karma or a Blitzcrank or an Ezreal, it's not that, like, in really high elo people are really good at sidestepping. Yeah, sure they are to a certain degree, but the primary way you play around skill shot supports is playing behind your minions. The counterplay to Ezreal is play behind your minions. The counterplay to Karma is don't play next to your minions, because she Qs both of you. She gets the wave pushed and hits you. Well, what do I do then? You can try to keep dancing around the wave and play diagonally to Ezreal, but that gets really tough really quickly.
And you lose push oftentimes then, because you're fiddling around too much with that.
Exactly. And then when they push, you're on a tower with no wave, and what blocks for you?
Yep.
Ezreal autos a turret, throws a Q, backs up if it hits. Autos a turret, throws a Q, backs up if it hits.
Yep.
What do you do about that?
And it's so easy to hit skill shots on champions that are trying to farm under tower because it's so choreographed. You know when they have to shoot their auto attack out to last hit this minion. You can see where they are. They have to sit still. So you either give up farm or you get the farm and you tank the poke. And it can get difficult. Yep. Obviously, Lulu's job here is going to be able to time those shields, try to absorb a lot of that poke. Yep. And this is incredible scaling on their side. It's something that answers really well into the Diana as well. Polymorph very strong against Diana, these kind of squishy champions that want to have a lot of front load burst. If you can get a Polymorph off early, you can sometimes just 100-0 champs like that. And pretty good peel for the Jinx, obviously, with the shields, with the wild growth. Bans coming through here. The Yasuo is going to be banned away, so no opportunity for Ioma to bring that out. LeBlanc going to be banned. Tryndamere also banned. It's another pick from JoJo that he has brought out. They are willing to play this mid-lane Tryndamere style, so a lot of focus on JoJo Pion on one side, focus a little bit more split on the other, taking away another carry top here for Tony, an AD to complement that AP jungler, because traditionally we are seeing a lot of double AP solo lanes. Golden Guardians bringing AP jungler means they at least need an AD mid laner or a top laner, or it's just going to be way too easy to itemize.
Yeah.
So, you know, they do have other options, you know, things like the Camille. You could try to go like mid lane Aurelia or something aggressive if you want. But Jace is really one of the most common ones, so denying those pairings I think is pretty smart.
Yeah, Senna I don't expect to see happen right here. I think Senna Ezreal is actually a pretty weak 2-2 overall. Yes, you could send Karma mid or whatever. You're not going to see it here. Camille does come through. There is your physical damage. Obviously part through as well. And I like this. Camille Galio is a team fight starter, right? Diana Galio, a team fight starter. I do like this as a look of, hey, let's just get stuff started. Ezreal can ult over the top. He's got reach in these fights. I think the comp is actually pretty synergistic here. I like the Vlad hover for Vulcans. Like, yeah, nice job with that one last time.
Pick here for JoJo though.
What's going on Galio? I can't think right away.
Marksmen are really good into Galio. Is what people were playing previously. Used to play Lucian mid and things like that, but Lucian generally isn't played, you know, without Enchanter supports now.
Ooh, we get it after all though. We get our Lucian.
Okay, this is really interesting because Lucian's not really played in solo lanes much anymore. I'm interested in what the solo queue data I see you looking up is actually showing now, because this used to be considered the kind of old counter, is that you could just blast this Galio in lane, physical damage, ignore the magic damage shield, and really kind of play that 1v1 pretty heavily. But ever since the passive changes, where Lucian's passive did a lot more damage when you get shielded or buffed up, you know, by an ally, Lucian was pushed kind of almost exclusively towards bot lane and taken out of the solo lanes pretty heavily. So it'll be interesting to see if this does work out.
Solo queue data says Galio is slightly favored in that, like, they have X power level versus Y power level, and then it goes a little bit better towards Galio because the matchup actually isn't too bad. I think some of it is Lucian's range is short enough that you just, now you're in taunt flash range, right? Stuff like that. That said, solo queue is not pro play, right? No. Reflexes are better, your coordination with junglers better. Things change when pro play happens.
Solo lane marksmen traditionally are lower win rate in solo queue compared to pro.
Right.
Because you really do have to walk that line. You have to harass them enough to get the most out of it, right? You have to play it aggressive. You have to really punish this guy and not get ganked while you're doing it. You can't just sit down and play a push back and forth style game as Lucian and Galio. You want to be really pushing the pace. So I'm excited to see it, because when people talk about JoJo Pion, they're always like, crazy mechanics, you know, he came from Fortnite, he's a zoomer, he's, you know, got great hands. Well, here's an opportunity to try to show that on a champion that can really showcase just how good you are individually.
Alrighty, well, on to the Rift. Let's see what we get out of this one as we get a nice early invade. Spotted by a ward, though. EG, I feel like, have done their research. We saw the level 1 in the previous game was great, bypassed the wards, forced a flash out of the Xin Zhao.
This is actually really clever, and that was Vulcan's ward. So Vulcan went bot, dropped that, recalled, picked up a sweeper. You know, that's more of the jungle move generally. Almost always you'll see supports actually sit on their warding trinket for lane. So I think the reason he's going to do this is he's going to try to play side brush, and he's going to use his sweeper to deny vision from the Karma Ezreal, because having side brush control is one of the only ways that a champion like Lulu can actually fight back against this comp. Because if you get warded out in that brush, there's just no way you're dodging enough of those skill shots to actually stay relevant. But if you can sweep out the ward, maintain control there, you can proc your spell thieves, and you can kind of keep the lane a little bit more even keeled. So it's a cool adaptation, and I'm excited to see how he's going to be able to pull it off. Ioma just kind of getting zoned away here a little bit.
I also have to correct myself. it automatically showed me bot Lucian versus mid Galio, which is really not that important. Mid Lucian slams mid Galio from solo queue data. So that's what we expected to see. Also, you mentioned kind of build optimizations. Commonly, people are going for crit builds. Gale Force Lucian is the normal build now for solo queue mid lane. So expecting that crit build to be what he goes for. And right now, though, Jinx and Lulu have the early pressure against this Karma Ezreal.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, because the last time we used to see this matchup a lot was when it was kind of lethality Lucian, where it was just you're playing around ultimate, right? And you had a lot of power with that ultimate, and obviously the slowdown on that with your items. But it is going to be a different day, and he is playing towards that call. So, you know, really just looking to have the additional sustain off the call to farm up and to really, you know, push in as hard as he can, really try to punish Ryoma as much as possible here, as Iconic just going to be farming out, has obviously been fully spotted. We'll see if Inspired wants to try to get aggressive and go for double scuttle. I feel like this is a game where you definitely can, where you have that domination in mid lane, go towards bot scuttle, take that, move up towards top, but maybe just going to actually cross map, and you can see him invading on the map right now. He's already moving in, trying to take away Raptors, and maybe just meet Diana, because they had full eyes on Diana. So he's actually just going to wait in the
Smart by Ryoma. Ryoma's coming down too. It's like, hey, we know this guy. He wants to invade. I mean, we saw this exact invade in the same matchup when it was TL playing in top lane. It's just deletion. Tony Top takes a dirt nap.
Tony Top is just getting crushed in these games so far, not having the best performance on the Vladimir, and now Impact, 3 minutes in, gets the solo kill. It's looking more like Tony Bot.
Yeah, it's a rough one here. Gets the knockup as well, so Inspired not only is taking part of the Krugs, he's forcing damage out. Or Inspired, he could try for some. Even the Smite's going to claim the big Krug. The bot lane's down here. EG having pressure in there 2-on-2 as well. Danny puts the choppers up. They're not going to hit, but there might be enough. This could be enough. Here comes the replay, and we've got a taunt on a 2. Kill number 1. Kill number 2 yet again. Golden Guardians find first blood. They got 2 picked up.
That is huge. Grabbing 2 kills there. With the TP from Ryoma, really nice TP. It's so rare to actually see effective early game TPs now without Unleashed Teleport, and I think they just didn't play with any respect to it. They got right in the face of Golden Guardians, but you were playing between 2 towers, so the defensive teleport there is plenty strong. Ryoma arrives, and Ezreal gets both the kills, gets a red buff. That is fantastic, because EG were actually losing the 2v2. They had been pushed in and were down on farm, and now all of a sudden, Ezreal's off to the races, so big mistake there from EG.
Yeah. Tier start Ezreal gets ahead, that's not normal. You can spam your Qs, that's great, but your combat stats were obviously much lower, but it looks really good. Obviously, yes, Impact got the actual first blood in top lane, but your gold lead is on the Golden Guardians side. Question is, can you hold on to it this time? Does the cross-map play still work?
Look at
obviously,
the eyes in bot lane.
Yeah, oof. That is a nice Sheen, couple long swords. That's going to feel very nice.
I always feel like when we have the early tier Sheen, it starts to feel really tough to lane against the Ezreal. He hits a Q or 2, can get very, very rough, but things could be a little bit brutal up on this top side as well. I mean, the first buy for Tony is just nothing, right? He bought some more pots and he got a longsword. Versus a full Leeching Leer, which is where Gwen starts to really be frustrating to play against. You get a little bit of that sustain on top of the Conqueror, and when Gwen hits Mythic, she's really a different beast, so this is pretty scary.
Find the first taunt, auto, backwards E1 turret shot. Q's gonna land Ignite, almost gets the kill, but a flash to safety as summoners are traded.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that was a good combo by Ryoma. Gets a little bit of, time back to himself in this lane.
Yeah, and all he had to use was actually his Predator, right? His flashes TP were spent bot, so he just ran at him real fast. There was no boots on JoJo. He hadn't even been back to base to buy at all. So, getting both of those summoners off of JoJo for just your Predator is really, really nice. Yeah. And Ryoma off that bot lane TP, now a bit of pressure here. Going to be feeling pretty good about his situation in this game. Of course, he is down on farm quite a lot, and that is really where EG's gold lead is coming from. And they're going to keep pressing because, Inspired is not someone to sit back. But Iconic actually going tank Diana. I can't say I've seen this. I don't know if this is like the new meta, because everyone is just going chem tank on just everything and being like, well, hey, this item's overpowered. I wonder if it's good on X. Well, a tank Akali is good. Well, I've been seeing it on more and more champions. So maybe the read is, well, if it's good on Akali, it's good on Diana too. So, and you're kind of going to work more as just like a CC bot and a frontliner and an engage.
Yeah. Very limited data, but both Sunfire Aegis and Turbo Chem Tank have very high win rates. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of room for variance when you've only got 1,000 to 2,000 games in each Mythic.
I can see it.
Indicates might be worth looking at. Not definitely great.
I can see it. I mean, I think if you want to just play as the setup, it's like you have got to dive in and set up Camille and Galio. If that is your read, well, then go a little bit tankier. You're not necessarily going to have the 100-0 damage. And that's maybe where the concern comes from, because I can also totally still see the argument for going full AP versus this team. There's Lucian and Jinx and Lulu. Yeah. All those champions are so squishy. If you get one good ult, they probably all just die. So it's a different look, and we'll have to see how he does with it.
Devil's advocate, getting the ult at all, they still die.
Yeah, maybe that's all
just
you need,
Just forcing it is a kill, maybe. So yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation to have.
Crack.
And we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think it's going to be really neat. Obviously, you're against a lot of physical damage as well. Sinjar, Lucian, Jinx, pretty much exclusively physical. So as long as it's not Gwen hitting you, you can also just armor stack.
The other wrinkle I will say is that it can be really frustrating to play Assassins against Lulu. And when you know there's an exhaust, Engage is going to get screwed anyway. So I'm just going to go tanky here, and I'm just going to get in there for CC, and you guys kill him.
Galio over the top. Camille over the top. Yep. Sounds good.
Can't exhaust the Galio ult.
You can't. Yeah, he's untargetable. He's going to land on you for full damage. So cool look here. I know Predator or Galio even itself is not always the pick.
Yeah.
Aftershock and other things still can work quite well, but Predator, as we saw earlier, allows him to get onto Lucian. Obviously has some value there as well. Just burned her recently, but clearly that engage didn't go quite as well, as Dojipyeon came out at pretty much full health, and it's Galio taking the recall. 6A still up in gold, but only 300 against Impact and Jojo, who are having pretty solid games themselves. Good farm in both cases, and obviously the first blood pretty meaningful for the top laner.
Yep. And my experience with Predator is generally that it feels like it has more value either in side lane games or early game. You know, as far as team fighting and stuff, it's just a lot less valuable.
Woo!
Oh,
he got it! He got the steal. How about the rest? Galio over the top. Good damage onto Inspired. Doesn't have a flash, shouldn't have a way out. Impact was Tony Top on the side, though. Pretty good damage from the Gwen. Getting some healing. The ulti was late. He didn't dodge any damage, Tony Top. The mechanics are betraying him as the rocket comes across the map, but Shime should find this kill and does. Iconic, though, he's got a Herald. He's not got a lot of health bar left. Tries with the shield, does go down. 4-3 on the scoreboard. Gold lead to Evil Geniuses.
Big play, though, from Golden Guardians, able to actually steal the Herald away. They did pick it up, so not too bad at all. Danny, though, farming plates down here. Not perturbed whatsoever by the early double kill here from Stixxay. He is pressuring him hard, shoving him in, utilizing that early attack speed that he bought up, and just trying to keep minions in between him and that Ezreal. And you clear that wave much faster than Stixxay does, so he wants the second plate.
Danny power spiked. He recalled for Noon Quiver, I think, for the sort of general the Herald play. And Stixxay is still on that double longsword tier Sheen he had from the first recall. So Stixxay's got like Manamune base right now. If he had it here, that was a better fight, but yeah, got pushed in for the item spike.
Here it is one more time. You can see Galio, Karma moving up on the minimap right down there. Goes in, does actually grab that away. Didn't even use a smite, just got it with the straight up base damages, the Q. And Ryoma not quite able to land the taunt, but it didn't matter. They push through, they get that kill. And Impact here, yeah, no dodges by Tony on that. You've got to be able to try to time it on the Q to avoid that damage. Impact had the 4-stack Q and just chops him down as soon as he does land. On the other side, Dojipyeon is able to pick up a kill. But definitely agree, Tony Top's mechanics have been letting him down in the Vladimir game, you know, utilizing the pool incorrectly. Now in this one, not really able to find the plays on the Camille, at least just yet.
Yeah, you have to imagine the first blood obviously tilts the items in one direction, and then not dodging the 7 hit of the ulti. Like that is so much damage and healing because it applies the passive at full power. Like that's several hundred health difference for just that.
And it was really close.
Like on each champion.
It could easily have been the difference in that him getting the kill instead of Impact. So is a tough one, but now Impact is going to be significantly ahead. When he hits Riftmaker before you, you just don't get the fight anymore. You know, then you're just trying to pick up farm, and it's already feeling like it is at that point a little bit. You know, unless Ryoma can get up there, you can really turn the fight, obviously, with a roam from your mid laner or getting Diana to be up there. It is chem tank, so kind of as expected here, coming through. It's going to help with the engage, help with closing that gap, and we'll see how effective Iconic can be. It's also going to, hopefully for him, reduce his reliance on having flash, because flash engages are really a big part of Diana's play pattern, and with Chem Tank, maybe you can just find a nice Q onto a minion, E to it, Chem Tank in there, catch up, and get a decent ult.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more reliable against the Rocket Belt, but of course, Big slows like a Lulu Q will stymie you for a bit. Chime's going to find the root, force a flash out of Danny, because that would have been all of the iconic follow-through. So now we have a dragon setup coming across here. Gold lead is with Evil Genius's first dragon, theirs as well. We've got a Herald in an inventory, and it could just crash bot lane right now, but they're going to try to set up for the fight. The problem is, can they even fight? Camille's walking down. Galio's on the way over as well. Does have ulti. They don't take a fight at all. They don't Herald bot lane. They don't get anything done at all. Instead, we're going to dive in and give up 2 kills. Golden Guardians, once again, do absolutely nothing but watch the objectives get taken. And it's Stixxay forced to run away. EG going to win this fight. Danny going to find the zap. The rocket is flashed. Then EG walk away with it. Golden Guardians, sadly, the wrong macro call.
Yeah, so they just shouldn't have even been there, right? Tony doesn't have Unleashed TP, and Impact moved way faster, so it's not a fight that they should really be taking. They're down numbers, and now even having to blow the TP here. Impact getting aggressive on a Tony.
That's okay. Let me know, of course, Golden Guardians. It is an academy squad. This is not their intended starting roster. Tony Top's going to get out. So look, the level of play here is obviously different. EG are one of the big spenders in the LCS, one of the top 5 spending a lot, right? They bought out Vulcan from C9 or traded for him or whatever. Like, they are spending a lot to bring over the LEC MVP. The expectation is that EG's players are more experienced, better, whatever. And again, Golden Guardians are an academy team. I just want to see the sort of moderate level macro of we're behind, we should cross map them. Like, just some of the more basic stuff. Like, that's all I'm disheartened about, is just there were some more obvious plays that I feel like they should
continue pushing top, drop Herald bot, get some gold here. They are going topside now.
Okay, sidesteps the ulti. That's the setup you want to see. He survives the ignite. Thank you very much. Well played, Golden Guardians. One back on the board.
Yep, they get a kill up on topside. Going to be able to push this in, likely grab a plate. So nice play from them. But I agree. You know, you expect them to get out executed, but it is one of those macro plays that you want to see them really nail. And I mean, they knew that they were down numbers, but it feels like it's one of those plays where you're feeling a little bit desperate. You feel that you need to get something done. And oftentimes in those cases, you just end up losing out even more. But Ryoma having a great game, I've got to say. You know, he gets counterpicked here with the Lucian, but he finds the early TP bot, getting them a couple kills. You know, he had the effective all top side now, getting another kill up there. Ryoma looking good, and they do have some side lane scaling here with the Camille. And yes, Camille is probably going to keep losing the 1v1 to Gwen because it's very behind, but you always have that X factor of Ryoma coming in, and that can maybe give them a way into this game if they can keep finding side lane kills.
Absolutely. And while this might end up being, assuming Golden Guardians don't come back, the last LCS game where Ryoma we see for a while, because I expect the main team to start playing in the opening weekend, Realma's looked actually pretty good during lockdown.
He has looked really good.
Right, Golden Guardians went 1-3 in the group stage. Realma was like good in all 6 games really so far. Like I think his Victor was solid. He had good damage output. I think he topped the team in game 1 of the series. And yeah, he got counterpicked and is up 1 KP. Yeah, he's down CS, it's counterpick lane, but like is getting stuff done. Like I want to say, like Realma, who's had a very rocky LCS career, has looked really good so far in 2022.
And he's always been very good in Academy. You know, it's just kind of been bridging that gap for him that has been difficult. But yeah, I mean, he got a solo kill, at least one, you know, throughout lock-in as well. I think it was on Tukoi, if I can recall correctly. It was him or Blue, I can't quite remember. But, you know, has had some really good performances. And obviously, you know, Golden Guardians does have some veterans on their team as well. You know, Stixxay has been around for a long time in the competitive scene. You know, yeah, he's an MSI finalist. He has won the LCS, so... they do have some guys with experience here, but obviously trying to build around some of these newer players as well.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Top's career started last year in Academy, right? He's got a year and change of his entire career. And yeah, it's been a rough road here today, but he's a newcomer, right? Like, give him time, and then we'll see it move forward. Top Herald Crash comes in. Second Herald, of course, grabbed this time, not stolen away, so Evil Geniuses claim their second turret of the game as they make this one come through, keep the 1,200 gold lead, and they'll get that Crash on top side. So there you go.
And you've got to say, Inspired not having the best game, you know, compared to what we're expecting from him, right?
Right.
You know, they did have that really aggressive play early on that got punished very hard on bot side. Since then, it's just been kind of farming even against Diana, right? He hasn't been ahead of the pace of the game. Compositionally, you can definitely see Golden Guardians winning this. So as much as it's easy to kind of just count them out because it is EG and because they have been very dominant, it's a full LCS roster here. Golden Guardians are making him work for it in this one, and we'll see if they can execute well at potentially this next Dragon fight, because if you can get into the backline onto people like Jojo or Danny, get an initial kill with the Diana plus Galio plus Camille diving in there, the fight really can start to go your way.
Let's look for it. Stixxay Ezreal has had some truly legendary performances, even on the international stage, so sometimes you see outstanding things. I'm personally still a Stixxay believer. I think he's actually a great player, big fan of his. So I want to see if he can kind of put the carry pants here. Right now, sidestepping some Lucian damage, and we got a TP in the mid lane. Next Dragon's up in 20 seconds, would put EG at soul point. Golden Guardians, looks like they are willing to fight for it.
Look at Ryoma on the map. He has this flank position. He's hiding right here. So if they can come in from multiple angles, you know, and try to collapse here on EG, if they overcommit towards this, 6A is mid pushing this in. But if EG checked with this is going to get kind of ugly, and Impact is sussing it out. He actually spots him, so really good Sixth Sense. They had not seen Galio anywhere, and he's saying, well, where could he be? And that is veteran play from Impact. That's really smart stuff from him. He says, well, I'm not scared of face checking him. He can't 1v1 me, so I'll just walk through the brush. But Tony and Ryoma is still behind them. Can they pull off this pincer play? It's got to be well coordinated.
Tony goes in first. Jump in, they saw you. Didn't get Whimsy. There's Diana on the top. They're going to pull on a several. Galio only hits one, and it doesn't kill Vulcan. Goes in for more. Big taunt, not going to find the ton. He'll go down. No, he lives. Thank you very much. Triumph, a 1 for 0 so far. To the back on the Diana, though. Stopwatch used for Impact, and Impact lives. Tony Top's forced to run. It is a team fight. +1 kill, and oh no, he flashed. Ease into the rocket. Danny claims kill number 3. It was a good setup. It was a nice try, but EG run away with the team fight.
Yeah, EG, they get it all. They get the kills. They get the dragon. Likely going to take down at least the mid lane tier 1 here as well. Going to be feeling really good about their chances now, and just didn't quite have the coordination on the entrance. It was an incredible ult from Iconic, but Hookshot had already been used by Tony Top, and he's not playing Flash, so when that's on cooldown, he can't follow up, and they can't get those initial kills. The Galio comes through. They did kill off, I believe it was Vulcan pretty quick, but Jojo and Danny are really low. 6A had to flash in to try to just get that additional damage, try to finish it off, and unfortunately for them, not quite perfect on that coordination. You know, Tony starts priming this because he thinks Vulcan's going to straight up face check, but he doesn't want to go for it, and now Iconic goes in, big ulti. But imagine if Tony Top is in the back line right now with him. Instead, he gets knocked back there by Inspired, can't enter that back line. 6A, ease over the wall, trying to get in to finish them off. But Jojo and Danny are just kiting back. Inspired flashes in on the Ezreal to knock him up. They push forward, they get those kills. You got to be on the same page with these engage comps. If Camille's in the back line and those marksmen die, it's a different game.
Yeah, I think Camille, I think Tony needs to just like, Hookshot onto the Lulu. I stunned you. Ult on a Jinx. Here we go. Right? And just take the button. You can't just like burn that gold and be like, I'm here! And then let the disengage happen.
Or the whole team has to wait. The whole team has to wait, and you can't go right then as Iconic. And you try to push them out and you try to slow play it, right? But it's got to be one or the other. It's always one of those things where it's better to make the wrong decision as an entire team than to have people on either side of it, right? And that's where you have to have really clear comms. That's where you have to have really good coordination. And that's one of those things that can look really good or it can look really bad. And unfortunately, in this case, Tony Top not really able to be involved in the fight after that initial hookshot cooldown's used.
Well, we go back on the map and we see that we are a dragon away from Soul, 3 minutes out. We almost took some time in the top lane, which is good to get his farm up. Of course, now down 70 CS under Jojo Pyun. I mean, never going to have the same wave access, you know, as a winning team Lucian. So isn't going this way, but he'll keep trying. Obviously, again, we are going to see some armor stack out of the squad. It is really AD heavy on the EG side. Yes, Impact's doing pretty well, but it's 140 CS Gwen. Like, of all the threats, it's one of the smaller ones at this point in time. So we get to see some steel caps. Okay, great. But not a lot else right now. Even right now, Iconic going towards a sidestep to go for some Grievous wounds. Eventually, he'll get a bit more damage done, but...
Yeah, and we'll see where exactly he wants to build from here. But, I mean, Danny probably going to have 2 items on his base. We already see 2 done there for Jojo Pyun. So, yeah, double items on both of these marksmen now. They're going to be feeling really good about their space in the game. With Lulu behind them, you really kind of had it hit that critical mass where you start to be really, really strong. We'll see if they can find any sort of big picks, but I think the game is going to come down likely to this next dragon. If you give over Soul to EG, it's so hard to team fight into this Chemtech Soul, because even if you get that initial kill on someone like Danny or Jojo, you have to deal with their ghost respawning and 4 more seconds of pure DPS coming out, and I can't see them winning 5v5s against this Soul whatsoever. So. They're going to have to find that perfect engage, really be on top of it, coordinate as a team, or EG is just going to run you over, because in the extended fights, they have just way more DPS.
Yep, even though you live only for about 4 seconds, even though you do 40% less damage during the zombie form, CC is still full value, and it's still more damage. You know, like a Fed Gwen doing half It's still decent
It's
damage,
still
you
enough
know?
to change the course of the
If
fight.
she gets there. Yeah, exactly. So want to point out as well, both Jinxes this series went Phantom Dancer second on their champion.
And you love that.
It is the generically ideal second item. You are not against an Ornn, you're not against a Scion, you're not against a hard tank. PD is optimal second for DPS. Like, you get the move speed for kiting, it's higher DPS. Like, that is the real build.
Ooh, Gwen's caught.
Yes, a fight in the top side. Big damage onto Impact, who cannot get away. And on the board, once again, Golden Guardians. Now, I don't think they can burn down the Baron, but they can turn back the rest of this one. Danny taking the fight with Stixxay. Tried to go for a bit of a Gale Force burst. I don't think he quite got the pellets out of the Gale Force, though.
I think it was too much to the side. I wasn't sure if he was trying to just put it the minimum amount forward to get it and not really overcommit into the brush, or if he was just using it in anticipation to dodge the next Q. It could be either or, because he kind of used it like a little sidestep.
Yeah.
But either way, Dragon is up here in 30. They do kill off Impact, but critically, Impact didn't use any cooldowns. He didn't even spend all. He's just like, all right, yep, I'm dead. But he's going to have everything available for the next fight, and he's going to have his TP. Ryoma's not going to have ulti now for this initial spawn, and I think that, yes, you got a kill, but it actually hurts your chances in the game more than it helps, because the 300 gold doesn't matter, and you don't have your critical cooldowns for the engage on Soul Spawn.
Unless they can pick someone apart right now.
Inspired
Iconic wants in. Ezreal to the side, makes some space. Danny does not get hit with the pull, though, so Iconic gets nothing done. And in comes Inspired. 1 for nothing so far. Time to run away. Danny's going to be able to free hit. Stopwatch for Ryomi. He's still going to die at the end. There's no way out of this one. Slowed down by Lulu. And kills on the board. 3 for nothing as Impact dives in for a final kill. Tony Top is down, and Dragon Soul is going to Evil Geniuses.
Really nicely done there by EG. They TP back in here and get a good engage, but oh.
That's killable. Good move speed. Yeah, forcing the flash at a 6-say. Someone to heal for move speed as well. Does live. Sean gets a slow. Not going to mean much again. Danny! Yeah, that's going to be a kill if it crits. Oh, just unlucky there. Had a coin flip, didn't get it heads. But careful, because 6-say's still on the way forward. Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, the Gale Force.
There you go.
Oh, that one stings, dying to the Gale Force like that.
Yep.
He knew he had the E to react to the zap, but obviously didn't have the Gale Force cooldown timed, and that's going to finish him off. EG, they keep getting engaged on. Iconic's finding multi-man ults, but it's just not ones that the team can follow up on, or not ones that the team is really on the same page for. And whatever it is, they're just not making it work. He gets exhausted as he goes in. The marksmen then are going to go wild and fishing for something.
Okay, Impact gonna find himself rooted in place, ignited. Iconic is here. Does he have the damage? Q doesn't hit because he's unstoppable. And now we get to go into the melee range. Zonya's burned. This could be danger, a lot of damage, and yeah, it is just Iconic getting burned down. They get the kill, but it's a 2 for 1. Not a lot gonna happen for this zombie Gwen. Just walks to the river and dies, but +1 EG.
And no jungler. It's an easy Baron here. There's not really any ability to contest this. They do kill off Impact. You've got to take risky plays, though, when you're this far behind, so I don't hate them going for it, but it will be Baron. It will be Soul. Everything now in EG's favor. 6-A trying to look for the Miracle Steal, but they waited out. That's really smart.
Yeah, I think he was on a minion wave when doing it, so they're like, oh, Ezreal, okay, 2K. Impossible to steal. Chill, chill. All right, cool. Take it down. Well played.
Really well done by EG, and now it's just the finishing touches that they have to put on this series. They were the big favorites, but they have looked good doing it. Yeah. Really impressive performances, I think, pretty much across the board here from EG. And
yeah, and honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by Golden Guardians. To me, on paper, this was the least close match between the two teams. I mean, it's literally undefeated EG and a 2-2 Academy team.